it's quite gusty. Winds from the north, so it's going to be a bit chilly whilst we're sailing. Hopefully it won't capsize. Looking at this start, I'm nowhere near the start. Shane has done a perfect start, tacked onto port, and he's off. He's gone, and we don't see him for a while, or at least I don't. So we're just going to look at me starting, all pretty rusty as it's the first Open of the year, and I can't remember the last time I sailed a solo in heavy airs, but here we go. Main things to look out for is, certainly if it's a fairly tight start line, have a fair bit of board down so you're not drifting sideways too much. It's quite important to get kicker control and get your kicker calibrated and make sure, one, you haven't got too much on, and one, you haven't got too much off. The last thing you want to be doing is kind of get stuck head to wind, and the same with if you've got too much centerboard down, that can get you stuck head to wind as well. So get a bit of the board up, get the trailing edge vertical, or at least a couple of inches further forward from that, and keep an eye on your time, and as soon as you're starting, sheet in fairly hard and sit out hard. You often watch a lot of people come off the line and they're just not sitting out hard enough, and they're not sheeting the main hard enough, and they just slip sideways too quickly. So a couple of tips there. Heavy air tacking. Making sure you use plenty of steering. Got to keep the boat driving, got to keep the boat moving. The last thing you want to do is hit by a couple of waves and stop. So it's got to be all one fluid motion, and mind your head, and don't be afraid to use a fair amount of rudder when it's really, really windy. Maybe have slightly longer toe straps than what I've got, so you're not fumbling around with your feet trying to get them under, so you can get out and get sitting out quickly, and get the main sheet back on and driving the boat hard. Again, most of the weekend I kind of spent a lot of the time, early days, with not enough kicker on, not enough Cunningham on, board down too much, so I was a bit high and slow. Key points for me for the weekend was bit more kicker, bit more Cunningham, bit more board up, and a board for me actually was the key, just to try and keep the boat moving through the water. We're just about to do a bear away here. Make sure you got enough kicker off coming into the windward mark. Quickly get onto the balls of your feet so you're not having the boat sitting over to you on windward. You're looking to kind of keep as little rudder movements as possible. If you find that you kind of sit and have the boat heeled over to you too much, you tend to end up pushing the tiller away from you, and again that kind of causes a bit of a break. So just make sure you're on the balls of your feet, and certainly when it's windy and gusty, you've really got to be active, because you don't want to be kind of sat planted and immobile, and the boat, determine where you're going. You've got to be moving the boat with your feet and using as little rudder as possible. just coming into a jibe now. Must make sure the boat's going as fast as it possibly can. Don't be afraid to just head up a little bit. Get the boat really planing well. And then, yeah, just kind of, you've got to go for it and mind any capsized boats. That always makes life a little tricky. And also get your feet in the right place. I mean, I've got longish legs, so it's quite hard to, I do find myself getting a bit caught up on the picnic table, but it's always important to practice where your feet are going to go, so you're always solid and actually on your feet all the time. But if you get the jibe perfect, the boat should just go through the jibe quite comfortably and carry on the plane and come out on the plane. The moment people get into trouble is that the boat slows down. And they've got too much kicker off, and they start wobbling around and end up capsizing. Deep reach sailing, so again, with this type of reaching, you just want to be on the balls of your feet, and being able to steer the boat with your feet and use as little rudder as possible. I have to remember this was a very, very cold day and a very windy, and it got windier the more and more the day went on. And I certainly got more tired, and my tow straps certainly got shorter and shorter throughout the day. But fitness is key when it's windy, and it's important that you do stay sitting out. I tend to sail with quite a long tiller extension, quite a lot longer than most people. And there's the reason, as you can see here, when I am sitting out, the tiller's right in front of me, and I don't have to come into the boat to head up. Often I see a lot of solo sails with tiller extension it's just too short, so make sure when you're sitting out you've got a long enough tiller extension to steer to.